will be at me a book I see a koninana edin komonoko. My main here from home.
Yeah, Gabi, I think today is a sweet Friday. Because in summer urban, very, very, very juicy issues, very juicy topics. And in fact, the biggest of it all, Thomas Tuchel squad that won name me for 2026 FIFA World Cup. But aside that, over the last 1 hour, there has been 2 breaking news. A confirmation of Nema Ayenim Dada.
Okay.
The Edikan Michael Carrick's appointment.
Yeah.
In fact, now it has been official. Sir Michael Carrick has been appointed head coach of Manchester United with the contract now running till 2028. Then the second confirmation is Pep Guardiola. Manchester City for Afidi Omaji to Mama confirming. Say he will leave at the end of the season. And these are breaking news over the last 1 hour. Big media outlets, Sky Sports, Omodia Tuja. Now, Gabi, let's go into the England squad selection, because I know that the TFO Bebre are willing to listen to what we think or our analysis of it. Gabi, when Thomas Tuchel took the England job, I think he himself knew, say, Ejumana Wabejino, Ejumano Ebeyeding. And I'm saying this for a number of reasons.
Okay.
At the top is that Thomas Tuchel is a German. And Wabeji England Ejuma. Yes, in times past, we have had managers who were not English who managed the England national team. Even say Fabio Capello, even says Sven-Göran Eriksson, but when you look at the current situation of Thomas Tuchel, Ejumana or Babayen wo England no. And the current circumstances that he found himself in, he himself would have agreed, say, hey, Ejuma we die. Ejuma no edim pa. In times past, not so long ago, Thomas Tuchel in a press conference, say, the players that he has called them for English assignments in his time at England, now at that point, all year collapse, there were certain roles within the team that were very, 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 very competitive. And per the kind of football that he wants to play, he didn't see a realistic team that would have 4 number 10s in that team. You have players like Cole Palmer, Phil Foden. You have players like Eberechi Eze, Morgan Rogers, who can all play the number 10 role. But Thomas Tuchel said, say, it looks very difficult for him that he can include all of these players in one team. Now, Gabi, you and I would agree, say, one of England's biggest problems at the World Cup is that they have always had big names in the team, but they have failed to perform at the highest. They failed to perform the way people would have expected them to do. Let's look at this century alone. 2002 World Cup, Korea, Japan. They had a very good team, but they were kicked out by the eventual champions, Brazil, at the quarter-final stage. Fast forward 2006, Sven-Göran Eriksson team. Germany. That was the golden generation of England national team. They had the likes of Beckham in there. There was Wayne Rooney in there. There was Ashley Cole in there. There was Frank Lampard in there. Steven Gerrard was there. Joe Cole was there. They had all the names. But reports coming out from them, they say players' egos. Now they had to rely on individual performance because they didn't have a team. They just compiled the names of big players, but they didn't have a team. Then in 2010, we saw their performance under Fabio Capello. That controversial goal that Frank Lampard shared against England, and then they couldn't get that win in that crucial game. And they exited in the knockout stages. Then 2014, Roy Hodgson. 2018, Gareth Southgate was when we started seeing glimpses of that change. Where Gareth Southgate, Ochoso the team, no, tried to bring in some balance. Because after the normal to me say, the names alone were not going to cut it for them. They needed to have a certain balance and structure with the team. So we saw how they performed in that World Cup. Went all the way to the semi-finals and got kicked out by Croatia. 2022, very similar story, except that there was a player that a lot of the press and the media put pressure on Gareth Southgate, say, James Maddison. And James Maddison goes to the World Cup. He doesn't play even a single minute. Gabi, what am I trying to say? Thomas Tuchel would have known and understood, say, at this point in time, the structure of the team is more important than the personalities on the pitch.
Okay.
So I'm going into a crucial World Cup, and Obianim say everybody would expect that England will make it at least, if not the semi-final, the final. And if I am Thomas Tuchel, as pragmatic as I am, as practical as I am, as truthful as I am, and somebody who tells it as it is, very plain, I cannot decide on the kind of structure that I want to go into the tournament with there. Then I don't see the kind of manager that Thomas Tuchel will be. Because Enubina Abe, look at the public outcry for the inclusion of certain players via yes say Adena Yan Fananko or number say Yan Fananko World Cup. And I can understand all those arguments. But Thomas Tuchel has decided to take a different direction. Now, Gabi, a lot of people forget that when we want to compile a squad for a tournament, right, and a World Cup at that, there are several factors that are considered. Several factors. And we have come to spell them out here a couple of times. Before Thomas Tuchel would have made that final 26-man squad, he wouldn't have done it alone.
Okay.
He will rely on technical reports. He will rely on historical antecedents. And he himself has managed the team for a while until Obehu say, these are the players that will help me. He will rely on medical reports. He will rely on scouting reports.
Okay.
Until when all of these things come out, and Thomas Tuchel looks at the analytics and says to himself, say, I will pick Jed Spence ahead of Trent Alexander-Arnold. We will sit at the back and criticize that decision because we don't know the work that has gone into that selection. Meaning that they make what he has said here. There are so many factors that would determine why a certain player is selected for an assignment.
Okay.
And just before I came on, and I'm here Thomas Tuchel, Okasembi, and in fact the press conference is still going on as we speak. Or say, he can assure the whole of England that the players that he has chosen are players that will be committed. Okay? Are players that will be united, are players that will not be selfish to the cause that he is about to champion at the FIFA World Cup. So what does that tell you, Gabi? That what Thomas Tuchel wants to do is not something that is populist in its nature. Because Morgan Rogers Beko World Cup now World Cup now. It doesn't mean that I am not a good coach. It means I have a certain agenda. And per the reports that have been presented to me, per how I see things, this is how I want to go. Gabi, don't forget, say, England have not done so well against very top teams in recent time. For the very first time, an Asian team came to Wembley and defeated England. That was Japan. We also saw how Senegal ushered England a few months ago. And some of these things became albatrosses on Thomas Tuchel's neck. Because for some reason, people said, if you're not able to beat these teams, and you're not just say, you're Mamu Croatia, you're Mamu Panama, you're Mamu Ghana, the World Cup, I'm sure now be struggle. But that was the main reason why he had to make a decision that's not populist in nature. One of my favorite managers, Thomas Tuchel, and I think I've said it on a number of platforms sometimes, say, when you have Thomas Tuchel and you look at the kind of pragmatism that he coaches with, it is very clear, say, when he makes a decision like this, and it's a decision that so many people may not be happy about, trust him that he will go in and he will get the results. Because when I look at the English 26-man squad at Omodia Tuja, Gabi, I can tell you for a fact, say, whatever mindset, whatever agenda that Thomas Tuchel wants to go into the World Cup with, the only thing he needs now is trust.
Okay.
Because Kasano Enko baby, team no was selected. Whether somebody had 20 goals and assists, 50 goals and assists, he has already come out and he's justifying his team. Reasons why he has selected those players. And I am confident, say, we will see a different England because he would have noticed all the lapses in the team. He would have now sat back to analyze all the reports to choose the team that he has chosen. And now all he needs is the trust. But let's not also forget, say, if he goes into this World Cup and he doesn't perform, the backlash will be severe. Why? Because, Nagabi, you look at the players he's left out. Look at the reasons he has given. Now, World Cup, not performing. When you cross the quarter final now, I'm telling you the kind of backlash you will face from the English media. And yes, I'm get to Accra.
So, either may baby as a fee any baby out there and there. I come here and say, your situation I will Ghana with our Black Stars. The same trend na England national team no so here. With the atama with the big names, Omentima make player good near the other. CC and straightness. Anna Tomatucho so I there or na the selection.
But you see, the issue with England, England have always had big names in their teams.
Okay.
It is difficult to name an English team for a tournament like the World Cup where there will not be no controversy. Unya.
Mamin Komra, meba na yetimi ewremu efie nsemi ye beda ayala. And